A somber ceremony as Britain's King Charles and Queen Camilla laid a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery as they near the end of a 4-day visit to the U.S. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies with a passing shower or two, reaching a high of 55. Tonight, there may be an evening shower in some areas. Otherwise, it will be partly to mostly cloudy and chilly with a low of 40. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and colder with a high of 47. There is a chance of an afternoon shower. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com. Looking for a powerful way to support your immune system? Now's your chance to win a free bottle of Virago, the immune enhancement cocktail made with 23 science-backed ingredients, including vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and natural nutraceuticals designed to support your body's natural defenses. 10 winners will each receive a free bottle. Hey, don't miss your shot to boost your wellness routine. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/immune. That's 560theanswer.com/IMMUNE.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250, micro, to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
And now it's time for the Cat's Corner.
This is John Catsimatidis. Leadership matters. Two types of leadership, whether you're in politics or whether you're in the corporate world. If you're in politics, there's a great divide between Democrats and Republicans. I remember the days when Newt Gingrich and Bill Clinton, they didn't like each other, but they sat around the table and they made peace with each other. Ronald Reagan, Tip O'Neill, they didn't like each other. But at the end of the day, they sat down around a round table, and guess what? They made a deal that was good for America. So I call upon all politicians, common sense, no nonsense. Leaders in the corporate world have to find out and know what's going on, whether they're there or not there. There's an old Greek expression, don't let the violin play behind your back. Leaders don't shut doors. They make sure the door is open and always know what's going on the other side of the office. Leadership matters. I'm John Catsimatidis, and that's your Cat's Corner.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Penalties and interest are piling up every single day. Wage garnishments and bank levies could hit any moment. If you've been avoiding it out of fear, you're not alone. But waiting only shrinks your options and ramps up the stress. The truth is, the IRS settles with taxpayers every day through legitimate programs, and many qualify to reduce what they owe, in some cases by up to 99%. That's why thousands turn to helpwithirsdebt.com. They've guided over 120,000 Americans, resolved more than $2.3 billion in tax debt, and back every case with their ironclad resolution guarantee. If there's no real path forward, you get a full refund, no fine print. They even randomly select one qualifying client each year and pay off their entire IRS balance. Terms apply. Don't let another day pass. Go to helpwithirsdebt.com right now. It's fast, easy, and confidential. Find out what's possible today. Helpwithirsdebt.com. Once again, that's helpwithirsdebt.com.
This hourly segment brought to you by Unleash Your Wealth with Raj Shah and Rick Borick this Saturday at 7 a.m. and 2 p.m. Learn more at scwealthadvisors.com.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
The following live program is sponsored by Breakthrough Ideas.
AM 560, The Answer. It's time for breaking news, expert insight, and informed commentary on what's happening in Springfield, Chicago, and beyond. Because an informed citizenry is the only way to protect our republic. It's time for The Real Story with Jeanne Ives and Amy Jacobson.
And so the conversation continues about the shooting death of Chicago police officer John Bartholomew and the wounding of his partner, who remains in critical condition. Right now, at 26th and Cal, there is a call to action because this is a reminder that was sent out. Cop killer Talley's case returns today at 11:30, room 102. Go to 26th and Cal. Bring signs. Show up in groups. Make signs that say Judge Like must resign now. Mayor Johnson must resign now. Abolish the Safety Act. And this is what Alderman Lopez and John Catanzaro, the FOP president, they want people to put the pressure on Judge Like to resign because Governor Pritzker yesterday said it was all his fault.
It's a tragedy what's happened. The judge should have made the decision to keep that person in jail. The judge who had the ability to keep the person in jail didn't.
And we've talked about this at length in case you listened to the morning program because we filled in for Dan. But
well, Amy, are you gonna head there after the show?
No, I'm not. But you can't bring the signs into the courtroom, but you can carry them in the hallway because something has to be done. And Pritzker can talk out of both sides of his mouth, but what's he going to do about it?
That's exactly right. They're calling for the judge to resign, which he should resign
because he made a deadly mistake.
Yeah, and Pritzker agrees that it's the judge's fault. Okay.
We all agree it's the judge's fault.
Don't just talk about it then, Gov. Do something about it.
Even Eileen Burke, well, she's questioning the electronic monitoring system as a whole, but also, to the judge's decision to let him go with, he's been in and out of jail for 10 years straight. And, the judge said, his frontal lobe, he's finally becoming a man and he is a baby now. So we should give him another chance. And
well, I'm just going to wait for next week when the legislature is back in session and we'll see all of the, speeches from the Democrat side about the cop killer, about the killing of the cop, rather. But we'll see no action whatsoever taken on the Safety Act. None whatsoever.
Well, there's a new proposal from our guy, John Kern, state senator a Republican out of Downers Grove. And the new proposal would mandate detention.
He's actually the Senate minority leader, so he's in charge of all the Republicans in the Senate. He is a former prosecutor from Cook County, now legislator, and he is a good person.
So he wants mandate detention, so jail time for any criminal suspect who's accused of committing a violent crime while out on ankle monitor. That's really just common sense, folks. But this is the state we live in. We live in Illinois, where the Democrats have dummied down everything, and they put criminals first before the victims, I think.
Well, honestly, if you've got multiple felonies or if you've got even one felony, electronic monitoring shouldn't even be an option at this point. You need to just shut the program down because there is no monitoring on electronic monitoring. Let's just face it.
Right, because it went from the Cook County Sheriff's Department to the chief judge's office, and the chief judge is now investigating Judge Like, but those two are best friends. Yep. So it's a sham investigation just to please the masses, I think. So we'll stay on top of it. We'll let you know. But this is just...
Yep. Well, things work differently in DuPage County, quite frankly, and we have a state's attorney who does not let people out on electronic monitoring, and we have judges that are a little bit more careful before they do so, too, and unless they have no option because of the Safety Act. We've talked about that. We have a sheriff who, when they are incarcerated, he attempts to rehabilitate them. He's done a decent job on that as well. But I'll tell you what, we have a county board that doesn't actually have any real responsibilities, that is now out of control and has just handed the DuPage County chairwoman a 35% pay increase. And I thank the Daily Herald for bringing this to everybody's attention. And this is from their article. DuPage County chair members and several countywide officials will get salary increases after the fall election, including a 35% pay hike for the board chairman. This is a part-time job.
Okay, how much money are we talking?
Okay, so currently the board chairman makes $136,959.
$136,000 for a part-time job?
Part-time job. Well, her pay is going to increase to $185,000 for FY27. Then $199,550 for 28. Cha-ching.
Oh my gosh, cha-ching. Thank you.
Then $194,361 for FY29. Cha-ching. And $198,248 for FY 2030. So, I mean, I'm just doing a little math here. $65,000 pay raise in the next 4 years.
For a part-time job.
For a part-time job.
Where
almost
can I
to
get a gig like that?
$200,000.
I want to get
part-time job, zero responsibilities.
So what is she? Just how many meetings does she have? I
don't know. She has 2 that she runs a month. And she nominates people to things, but it's not like she is the clerk of the circuit court, which has real responsibilities. The DuPage County treasurer, which has to get out all your property tax bills and make sure that happens. Or the clerk who actually is supposed to run elections, even though in Illinois or in DuPage County, they've been a hot mess. Okay. Or the state's attorney, or you name it, who have actual real responsibilities. I don't even know. Maybe if she's lucky, does she have one direct report, maybe an assistant? Or her scheduler. So she doesn't actually do anything. It's ceremonial ribbon cutting. But the story gets worse. Before we bring in who I want to bring in. Sam Tornatore is a Republican. Mm-hmm. And he is the one who suggested that the board chairman should be paid $185,000 because it's become a full-time job. And if something goes wrong here, the first person who's going to get called is the chair. And she's woefully underpaid. This is a Republican. And in the vote, which is really shameful, there are 12 Democrats, 6 Republicans. 4 of the 6 Republicans voted for this pay hike. Well, here to talk about that more is Kevin Coyne. He is the chairman of the DuPage County Republicans. And I asked him to come on and respond to this because Kevin, I watch, and Kevin's a good friend. He's done great on social media. But Kevin, this destroys our Republican sort of mantra of we're for less government, lower taxes.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Jeannie and Amy. Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I mean, I think what we're really seeing out of the county is the Democrats are really feeling their oats. They're feeling emboldened. I think there's a lot of strong arming going on that board. They have, at the end of the day, basically all power on that board, and they're cashing in. We're seeing it not just on the county board, but also on the DuPage County Forest Preserve, which also just increased their president's salary by even more. That guy got over a 50% increase in their last increase from $75,000 to $114,500. So they're really feeling their oats. They're cashing in, and it's a real tragedy for our taxpayers who are already very much pinched from our tax bills, and they're paying for it.
Well, the DuPage County has a record budget, record spending, and same thing in the Forest Preserve. And so when you elect Democrats and they take the lead and Republicans want to, I guess, apparently not have competition and keep their seats, then they essentially are colluding. This is a classic John Cass combine.
Yeah, there's no doubt. When you go around the horn at every county level, you're seeing massive increases in spending from the county board to the coroner. Just hired a longtime political ally to have an executive level position at the coroner's office. The Democrat recorder came in and saw a 50% year over year increase in bonuses for people who hadn't even been in the office for a year. And then the clerk has been a nonstop disaster, millions of dollars in waste, both between her not filing the marijuana tax paperwork to silly litigation with their own county board. It's been a nonstop train wreck. And then you hear them have the nerve to talk about affordability being a serious concern for them. It's the real estate taxes they're driving up that is causing the affordability issues in Illinois.
Where is all this money coming from, though? I mean, not just property taxes, but what else is being taxed?
Sales tax.
And anything else? What about an exit tax if you decide to leave DuPage County and move to Cook County or Will County? I know, don't give them ideas.
You have transfer taxes on there, but yeah, it's largely the real estate tax levy. And again, the Forest Preserve, I believe that one has almost doubled over the last year since the Democrats have taken control of it. And historically, the county board and the Forest Preserve, when it was in Republican hands, you saw that levy, it would be marginal, if any, increases on that number. You're not seeing that anymore. And we really got to take action. I mean, the real estate taxes in Illinois, DuPage County in particular, are simply insane. They're not sustainable. And for any official to have the nerve to bring up affordability while they're giving, $200,000 part-time jobs, give me a break. That's pensionable, by the way. People are going to retire multimillionaires with these gigs. It's just outrageous. And, the voters really need to hold these people accountable for it.
Well, she'll easily have a multi-million-dollar pension. Look, she had 10 years in the state legislature, granted under the Tier 2 system, but still, that could easily lend her into a multi-million-dollar final pension at the end of the day because she put 10 years in. And then this is pensionable under IMRF, so she will be a double pensioner. Okay, and yeah. I don't know if she took the pension. I assume she did. Plus, we're paying all of her health benefits as well. So this is an enormous tragedy. It's an injustice. It's unfair, and I just can't even believe that Republicans went in on it.
Well, and when you look at our country, what's really ironic is there's really two states who stick out in compensating elected officials like this. It's California and Illinois. The two most screwed up states with the screwiest elected officials are the ones that are making these guys millionaires by turning these political jobs into careers. It was never intended to be that way, and it's being completely abused. And I don't think they pass these raises if they didn't feel like they had the political cover to do it. We got to fix that. We got to do a much better job of the Republican Party confronting these Democrats and educating the voters as to what happens when they get control of things. It's things like this. There's no way you see a Republican control board. I know we had a couple folks went along with this. So I think that's regrettable, but at the end of the day, it was going to pass with or without them. I know that's not an excuse, but it's the reality. If you have a Republican board, this doesn't happen. There's no way you get a 50% increase in either of these boards if that happens.
Well, you said 4 of the 6 Republicans on the board voted for this. What was in it for them? Did they get any kickbacks or?
I'm not going to speak to them. I haven't had a chance to talk to them about it. It's a regrettable vote. I don't agree with it. But at the end of the day, my sense is that there's a lot of strong arming going on that board right now because of the political leverage it's out there.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest with it. They're all long-term board members. So Grant Eckhoff, Brian Krajewski, Sam Tornatore, and Jim Zay. Sam Tornatore famously is the guy who teed up this increase for 35%. She was supposed to get a much more modest increase in the original proposal. Sam comes back and says she deserves more, so they all agreed to this. But Tornatore gave, he's a Republican. He went to to Deb Connery's fundraiser when she was first elected, gave her $1,000. This is collusion. I don't consider him a Republican. That's just my feeling. Now, the good Republicans, Carrie Galassi and Cindy Cronin-Cahill, voted no, along with 2 Democrats. Thank you for voting no, Lynn LaPlante and Melissa Martinez. So they voted no as well. But you have a bipartisan agreement to hike these pays an incredible amount, plus record spending, record taxes, and it's outrageous. A little bit about Deb Connery, though, before we move on.
Please.
Okay. She's really not qualified to run a county this size. We're talking about a $644 million total budget. We're talking about a general revenue budget of about $263 million. She has always been big spender, big government, and she's been behind everything that we talk about now. So she voted yes on the Safety Act. She voted yes on sanctuary states. She voted yes on taxpayer funding of abortion. She voted yes for that terrible CEJA renewable energy gamut. She voted yes on the gas tax increase. She voted yes to decriminalize fentanyl. She even sponsored that bill to decriminalize fentanyl. And now she wants to bring herself out as like the big mental health chair. Like that's her big thing, is it's all about mental health. She was a huge COVIDian. She created mental health problems.
And let's not forget her recent comments. Barbara Lynn just came to a meeting to talk about how DuPage just had a resident that was killed because of the Safety Act. Somebody who was let out of jail who should not have been let loose. Wasn't a judge mistake. It was just a flaw in the act. And this dangerous person was released and led to a person getting murdered. And he brought that to the county board's attention. And Conroy's response was they couldn't take the action he was desiring because the Black Caucus in Springfield would never support it.
That's right.
That's not an answer. I mean, you got to do your job as a leader to bring forward the issue, even if there's going to be pushback. And when everybody in office knows the Safety Act is getting people killed, you need to be loud about it, even if it's going to make the Black Caucus mad. I mean, that's not leadership to hide behind that. So, yeah, I think there's a number of issues going on at the county that voters need to be aware of.
Well, and she wants to pretend that she's, took on Madigan and under that hashtag Me Too movement.
Oh, please.
Well, she didn't say anything about Sean DeCramer literally manhandling her as a staffer that was working her campaign. He's a staffer for Madigan assigned to her campaign to get her reelected. Literally, the rumor is that she won't say exactly what happened, but everybody says he basically manhandled her. And she didn't say anything. And she wants to pretend like, oh, I stood up to in the women's rights movement, this harassment movement that they had in 2017. I stood up to him. She didn't say anything until it came out about Kevin Quinn and Alina Hampton. She had to wait for somebody else to say something first before she said something about what happened to her. She's not a brave person. She's a coward. And then she cowardly took down Henry Hyde's name off of the judicial building because everybody should be welcome. And people who have had abortions don't feel welcome into the county's building because Henry Hyde's name is on it.
No one was walking in there.
She led that charge.
Yeah, but no one of right mind was walking in like, a name on a building scares me. I can't go in.
The fact that, Kevin, she's going to be making upwards up to $200,000 almost over the next 4 years. That's $65,000 more than what she's making now, roughly.
Yeah, it's a crazy number. And again, part-time, she'd have a whole other job if she wanted. It's just crazy.
Well, and you know what? And the previous county chairman did have other jobs. Dan Cronin. Yep. Bob Schillerstrom, they all had other jobs. They didn't treat this as her job. But, I want to move on to one other thing.
Many of us have talked about organizing to have people
I got you, sister.
Can you go to Conroy Thanks Board for Pay Raise? Here's what she had to say.
On behalf of myself and all the people in the future who will sit in this seat as chair of the DuPage County Board, allow me to express my gratitude for increasing the chair's salary. As some stated, it is very much a 24/7 position. As you all probably expect, I get calls when necessary, evenings, early mornings, and on weekends, and it is an absolute privilege to serve in this role. It's the best job I've ever had.
I bet.
To create change, to develop good, thorough policy, and to serve the people of DuPage County, you have to put the time in with the constituents, with other elected officials, within
I've had
and
enough of
outside
that.
of the county.
You get the drift here.
So I agree.
The best job she's ever had. Kevin, yeah, of course, because you're making $136,000 now for a part-time job. You run a meeting, you make some nominations, you have almost no direct reports.
But she's getting calls in the middle of the night. That's what she says.
Hey, I got calls too. My sewage is backed up, Jeannie, on a Saturday night at 9 a.m. when I was on Wheaton City Council. Okay, let me get somebody on it. Absolutely. She's not out there cleaning out the sewer systems for a flooding incident. Give me a freaking break. Okay, Kevin, one more thing. You got this goofball, Colin Corbett, who personally I've never really cared for. He's failed in a lot of different campaigns, but now he's going to run. He's no longer a Republican. He's an independent. He's going to run for governor as an independent. I would say Republicans beware. Do not sign that petition.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't say my experience with him has been the same. I've known him for a while. I found him to be a decent guy. But these independent campaigns, I find largely are a farce. We've seen this nationally where these independent groups show up, they get some buzz, they get some donations. But then when you start getting into the platform, often you'll find there isn't one. And I think already you're starting to see this here. Like, what is the platform? How is it different than a Republican? What does this achieve other than to siphon off votes from the top of a Republican ticket? I would strongly urge people not to sign this petition. It's going to be a challenging cycle enough. We don't need another light Republican on the ballot just hurting our candidate.
All right, Kevin Coyne, thanks so much for joining us. And he joined us on The Real Story, and we'll be right back after this break. Thanks, Kevin.
Subscribe to The Real Story podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or at 560theanswer.com.
If you're near retirement or thinking about retiring, you probably have a lot of questions. How do you make your savings last? How much should you take out and when? You're ready for retirement, but are your finances? I'm Edward Jones financial advisor, Nolan Webster. Let's work together to make sure your finances meet your unique needs over the long haul. You've done what it takes to get there. Now it's time to make the most of retirement. Call me at 224-801-6107 to schedule an appointment. That's 224-801-6107. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Here's something most people don't know. When Warren Buffett was just 13 years old, he didn't put his money into a savings account. While other kids were earning next to nothing at local banks, Buffett put $114 into a little-known investment. Today, that $114 would be worth over $15 million. And it wasn't a risky trade, it wasn't insider knowledge. It was an account that's been around since 1888, and over the last 25 years, it's averaged 29% a year. That's what happens when your money is allowed to compound. Compare that to today's savings account, paying less than 0.5%, while inflation quietly eats away at your buying power. Buffett understood early, banks are great businesses, just not for savers. If you'd like to see what some investors call the 29% account, go now to ask29account.com. That's ask29account.com. Ask29account.com.
The mainstream media isn't just biased, they're hiding stories from you deliberately. Restoration News is changing that. With elite researchers and fearless writers, Restoration News is the conservative media force fighting back in the information war for America's future. Download the Restoration News mobile app today or visit restoration-news.com. That's restoration-news.com. Real stories, real truth. It's time you knew what they don't want you to know.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, let's take Jim in Northbrook. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Hi, Jeannie. How are you doing?
Very good. That was Amy.
Oh, hi, Amy.
Hi.
Amy, you got to start showing up for your sculpt classes. I can't keep checking you in.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm asking for people to help me to make Northbrook competitive again. Meg from Evanston wants to bring democracy back to Northbrook. So join us tonight, another Northbrook Patriots, to sign up for shovel-ready 4th of July projects that will call other Patriots that turn Northbrook red. You can sign up at hd17.com.
Okay, that's great.
Thanks, Jim. Good
thanks
luck.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
Yeah. What did you want to say? You had something to get off your chest about our last topic.
Yeah, no. So Colin Corbett, I saw him District 200. Yeah, no. District 200, which is my home district, passed a $151 million referendum to, just redo some stuff, mainly because they hadn't upkept with their maintenance like they should have, and they wanted performing arts centers in all these middle schools. Like the Belushi brothers came from Wheaton. They didn't need performing arts centers in their middle school, but now we have to have them. So $151 million referendum. I go to an informational meeting and I see Ed Sullivan, former state rep, Republican, and Colin Corbett there. I'm like, Ed, what are you guys doing here? Like, you're in my neighborhood. What's going on? Oh, well, we're running the campaign to pass the referendum. This is what Colin Corbett does in his off seasons, his off-season political cycles. He raises your property taxes by running campaigns for school referendum. It's outrageous. Do not sign that guy's petition.
All right, coming up on The Real Story, a victory for voter rights at the Supreme Court, but critics say it's harder for minorities. We'll explain.
For over a decade, AM 560 has marked the start of summer with a night of cigar smoking and great conversation. And this year, we're proud to welcome the editor-in-chief of Breitbart News to Cigar Night. He's Alex Marlowe, and he'll join AM 560's Dan Proft and Sean Thompson on Tuesday, May 19th at Gobridge Farm in Pingree Grove for a night you won't forget. Tickets are on sale now at 560theanswer.com/cigar. That's 560theanswer.com/cigar. Sponsored by Donley Auctions.
Fox News, I'm Gianna Gelosi. Cole Allen, the man who authorities say tried to storm the White House Correspondents' Dinner with guns and knives, appeared in court, agreeing to remain detained while awaiting trial.
The new nugget is that authorities now believe that he did not only fire his weapon, but it was the bullet from his weapon that hit that Secret Service agent. Luckily, that Secret Service agent is okay. He's facing serious charges, the most serious of the 3 federal charges, attempting to assassinate the President of the United States.
Fox's David Spahn, King Charles III and Queen Camilla wrapping up their 4-day trip to the U.S., but not before a visit to Front Royal, Virginia. These women were among many who waited in line for a block party there.
I think it's something that the people here are never going to forget. The children are going to remember for the rest of their lives. Putting the royal in Front Royal.
Sounds like a lot of fun. America is listening to Fox News.
Now, your official weather forecast.
This afternoon, expect mostly cloudy skies with a passing shower or two and a high temperature of 55. Tonight, there may be an evening shower in some areas. Otherwise, it'll be partly to mostly cloudy and chilly with a low of 40. Tomorrow will be mostly cloudy and colder with a high of 47. There is a possibility of an afternoon shower. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560. The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. Try the all-new Energy Refreshers. Strawberry Acai, Mango Dragon Fruit, or the all-new Mango Strawberry. New Energy Refreshers, only at Starbucks.
I'd like to tell you about a man named Phineas who as a child survived the Holocaust. Phineas survived because Christians hid him from the Nazis, risking everything to save his life. Today, Phineas is in his 80s. He can no longer stand on his own or even leave his home to receive medical care. And when sirens sound and missiles fall, he doesn't have the time or the strength to reach safety. But once again, Christians are helping to save his life. Through the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, a mobile clinic brings doctors and medicine right to Phineas's doorstep, providing care that he otherwise would not receive, especially during a time of war. Phineas said, "Christians saved my life during the Holocaust, and now again, they are helping me." As Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day approaches, remember these precious children of God by lifting them up in prayer, asking for his protection, his comfort, and his peace. Stand with Israel in prayer by visiting supportifcj.org. That's supportifcj.org.
All right, I love it. My garage floor. Hey, are you going to park in my garage tomorrow when you go to the Cubs game?
Are you going to let me park in your garage?
Yeah, it's open. You can have it. So we'll talk, but when you open that garage door, you're going to go, oh, now I know what she's talking about. Voila. It is the perfect floor. All those cracks and stains from the winter blast are gone because our good friends at Level 10 Coatings came and put down a new layer. They don't only do garage floors, but they also do sidewalks. They'll do your basement inside your house. They do patios around pools, and there's different colors and color schemes to choose from. But here's the deal. They can do it in just one day. I went to work and I came home and it was done. My husband and I love it. A shiny new gleaming garage floor. Level 10 Coatings can do the same for you. A quick and easy fix, permanent, durable solution. Guaranteed to never chip or peel. And mention me, Amy, for $500 off. Get it done now so you can enjoy your garage this spring and summer. It's not an epoxy job. It's better. Level 10 uses polyurea, which is superior to epoxy. One day and they're done, so schedule your free quote today and mention me to receive $500 off. Visit level10coatings.com. That's level, the number 10, coatings.com, level10coatings.com, or call 855-510-2628. Again, that's 855-510-2628. Staff are local and ready to answer questions. Level 10 Coatings, your premier concrete coating experts.
If you've saved $100,000 or more for retirement, call Steve Shyman today at 833-945-7283. That's 833-WILL-SAVE, 833-WILL-SAVE. Schedule your no-cost, no-obligation retirement review and make sure your plan is built to protect what you've worked so hard to earn. And don't forget to listen to Steve's show, Protecting Your Assets, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on AM 560. Call now, 833-945-7283.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
The following advertisement includes a celebrity impersonation.
The summer heat in Chicagoland is no joke. And if your old air conditioner is making funny noises, you may already know it's time for a new unit.
Look, your air conditioner, it's a disaster. People are telling me it's the worst ever.
Don't sweat it, literally. When it comes to cooling your home, Air Right Heating and Cooling does it the best.
And they love our country. Beautiful people.
Rebates are still available, financing is flexible, and at Air Right installations are smooth and professional with no surprises.
It's beautiful. Some people say it's the coolest air anyone's ever felt. I don't know. That's just what they're saying. It's doing an incredible job. Really tremendous.
Plus, tell them AM 560 sent you and Air Right will give you $56 off any service. Visit Air Right Heating and Cooling today at AIR-RITE.com. Again, that's AIR-RITE.com. Air Right Heating and Cooling, doing it right since 1959.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Goldilocks, offering 24/7 security solutions for homes and businesses. Call them today at 708-889-5600.
AM 560, The Answer.
Love this song.
I know. Makes you want to dance, huh?
Yeah, I just always think of Dan Proft in his parachute pants. Oh, well, he used to have a rat tail. Well, he had a mullet.
Oh my
Since
God.
it's his birthday, I can roast him a little bit.
Okay,
but he
roast
did.
him.
He was a rapper. He would carry around cardboard and spin on it.
Alrighty.
Quite
There
the
you
looker
go.
back in the day, Jeannie. But now
Yeah.
he's 54, so happy birthday, Dan.
Well, I got to tell you what, big news out of the Supreme Court of the United States in their passing or their decision that says, hey, guess what? You cannot make districts based off of a race. And that's what was happening in Louisiana. And, they're talking about 15, 20 seats may have to be redesigned or could be redesigned if the legislators want to pick up that cause. And they're all talking about these districts they're in the south part of the country. And I'm telling these people, no, they're not. You need to come into the Illinois 3rd district and look at that thing because it was designed for a Hispanic district. And everybody is saying that it was designed that way. But first, a little bit about that decision, just so in case you didn't hear it yet. This is Ted Cruz on with Handy. Last night, he explains what happened.
Well, the Supreme Court issued a 6-3 decision. Justice Alito wrote the majority opinion. And in that opinion, the court vindicated the Constitution of the United States, and in particular, the 14th Amendment that ensures that all persons in the United States are entitled to equal protection of the laws, and also the 15th Amendment, which protects the right to vote regardless of race. And what the court concluded is that it is not permissible for elected politicians to gerrymander based on race, to draw a black seat or a white seat or an Hispanic seat, that when government draws distinctions based on race, that is contrary to the Constitution. I think that question is absolutely correct. As Chief Justice Roberts wrote in a previous case, it is a sordid business that's divvying us up by race. He also said the best way to stop discriminating on race is to stop discriminating based on race. And I think the court's decision here says our government should be blind to color. We should be colorblind. We should not discriminate in favor of or against any race. I think the Supreme Court is correct, and that is the result of decades of litigation to get these racial gerrymanders struck down.
Okay, well, we're hoping that it has big implications for Illinois because reading from a WTTW article, what is
Winnet
that?
talking to Wilmette.
Yes, Winnetka talking to Wilmette. This is from the October 29, 2021 article, and they talked specifically about these new maps that were made in Illinois after the 2020 census, which, by the way, they had to go through 4 maps. 4 maps. The other 3 were rejected. One by court ruling. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they actually wrote, Democrats put premiums on drawing districts advantageous to their party, protecting the 1st, 2nd, and 7th districts designed to yield black representatives despite a decrease in Illinois' black population, and creating a 2nd district that props up a growing Latino population to elect a representative of their choosing. Then, in the new map, the 3rd district will be 47% Hispanic and pointedly unites heavily Latino communities From Chicago's Logan Square to the eastern edge, it reaches through Belmont Craig neighborhood, covers Bensonville and Addison, and over to West Chicago, then stretches up to catch Hanover Park, Bartlett, and Elgin. The 3rd district is the district that I'm in. Now, the entire map thing was a joke. This is something that Governor Pritzker, I want a commission. I want fair maps. This is what he ran on in 2018.
Which we all
flat
knew
out
was a
saying
lie.
that it was a complete 100% lie. And so then he goes on Colbert, and now it's all fun and games. After the Texas people came up here,
right?
Remember?
Oh yeah,
because they were escaping the Texas remap. They came up to Illinois with an F rating for maps, and then following that, when it was all revealed that Illinois has one of the most gerrymandered state maps, he goes on Colbert and thinks it's all funny.
Easy districts in Illinois. Take a look at this. Look at 17 here. It does that. Then it comes up here and it sneaks around there and goes all the way up here and then goes right over there like that. And look at this one, kind of goes whoop up there. It's like the stinger on a scorpion down here. Is this common for all states to do?
Well, we handed it over to a kindergarten class and let them decide.
Okay, and that's the nonpartisan group that does this
Absolutely.
for you guys?
That's our independent commission, you know.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, he's so funny.
And yesterday he was side by side with his new lieutenant governor, who's black, Christian Mitchell, and they're saying that black people now are going to have a harder time voting.
This is an attempt at a bloodless coup. That's what just happened at the Supreme Court.
They gutted the Voting Rights Act, the law that protects your right to vote. Why?
Because Trump and his allies, they can't win, so they cheated.
They silence black and brown voters. They rig our elections.
No tanks, no troops, just laws and court decisions.
Taking them out for a spin, huh?
Did they have a teleprompter up so that they could each do their part?
Who's on first? What's on second? But that was his, coming out party. Because I've never heard Christian Mitchell's voice. I know he used to be a state rep. You probably know.
Oh yeah,
him.
I heard it way too much. Oh. No, thank you. Listen, I will say this though. Okay, when they were doing these maps were so horrendous that they had to be redrawn for many reasons. And one of the person who was affected by this, let me just tell you that this is actually in the maps, the bill that created the map, HR 359, page 80. And this is actually what it says. Following the request of Republicans, RD 107 was reconfigured to include Rep. Niemerg's home in 102 and Rep. Wilhauer's address in 110. Because they had so gerrymandered things and put Republicans together to compete against each other that they knew that they had a problem. And anyway, here, because he's was there when it all happened, is State Representative Blaine Wilhauer. He joins us now to comment on this and what he thinks we should be doing at this point.
Hey, Jeannie, it's good to be with you and Amy today. How you guys doing?
Well, I'm.
It's a lot to process.
It is a lot to process. I mean,
that's Illinois politics.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you sat there in the middle of this entire debacle, fourth map. I mean, they tried every single maneuver. Page 55 literally says in the bill, this district was drawn for political purposes.
Absolutely, it was. The funny thing about it is that in the first or second map, they actually mapped almost the entire Freedom Caucus into the same district. So me and Niemerg and Halbrook and Miller and Calkins were all actually put into the same district. I don't think that's done by accident, but they want to talk about disenfranchisement. That's what we see with these things. They literally used our addresses and then sent us away from our local communities. I was sent to the General Assembly by places like Effingham County and were strong conservative movements where I had a lot of grassroots support, and they completely took all of that stuff away from me. But I mean, thankfully, Southern Illinois is awesome, South Central Illinois is awesome, and we share a lot of the same values. So it's worked out okay. But my business is literally in Representative Halbrook's district. So I cross the road and go to my business every day, and it's in Representative Halbrook's district. It's ridiculous. And, the governor loves to talk about disenfranchising. That's just a bunch of baloney, because they've controlled everything in this state, in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois for generations. So if there's anybody disenfranchising their own communities, it's the people that they send to Springfield. It's the people that they send to Springfield from these communities that care more about corporations and big unions and far left ideology than they do about the people in their own communities that are struggling. So give me a break with all this stuff.
So Blaine, earlier today we had Congresswoman Mary Miller on, and she told a story how, well, Jeannie told it too, how the redistricting line ran through their property, part of their farm, right? Like one half of the farm was in one district, the other half. So then her husband had to get an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have to do anything like that?
No, unfortunately, I didn't have to do anything like that. They just basically drew it around my house. So if I cross the highway that's about a mile from my house, it's in a different district, and then I have to travel a fair amount in my district. But that's not super unusual for Southern Illinois. Obviously, it takes a lot more geography to get 108,000 people, but it's just ludicrous that they're complaining about anything. Give me a break. They control everything. There's no excuse for these people. When you look at the last general election in this state, Republicans got 45% of the popular vote. Democrats got 54% of the popular vote. They got 66% of the seats in the Illinois House. That's disenfranchisement. They got 82% of the seats in U.S. Congress. Who's being disenfranchised?
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds to me like the traditional Republicans are being disenfranchised. So I don't want to hear Governor Pritzker or Speaker Welch cry and moan about disenfranchisement. Give me a break.
Well, I mean, it's all race all the time down there, and I don't know if there was a leak to Speaker Welch or something, but the fact that they actually ginned up a House Joint Resolution constitutional amendment to actually change the priority order of when you do make maps to include that you will create, where practical, racial coalitions or influence districts. I mean, there couldn't be more. They couldn't be more obvious about, we want to create racial coalitions and influence districts. We want to, violate the constitutional amendment.
Mm-hmm.
We want these. I mean, they're telling people that this is what they want. Now, that passed the House. It looks like it is dead at this point because the Senate did not pick it up in time to get it on the ballot. But what was that conversation like?
The Supreme Court shut it down. You said it, Jeannie, and this is true. People need to open their eyes. Everything about down here in Springfield is about race and ideology. It's un-American. Elections and representation should be decided on traditional American things like, ideas or merit or shared values. But it's all about race and identity. That's all these people care about, and it's been to the detriment of the people that they claim that they care about. Wallet Hub consistently ranks Illinois in the bottom for racial equity. We're obsessed with race, but the only race that's progressing in this state is the race to the bottom for the people that they think that they're trying to uphold. How's their quality of life? Has things gotten better in their community since Democrats have ran everything into the ground? More crime, more poverty, less opportunity. Places like Harvey are paying, outrageous property taxes. They're paying much higher property taxes than rich places in Illinois. It's absurd.
Yeah, how's that going to go for Harvey? Are they going to get that financial assistance since they are run by blacks down there, and they went and said, hey, we can't pay our money. Give us $30 million, state taxpayers. How's that going to go over? How well did they do?
Yeah. Right. And, they always talking about, this stuff in education. Well, the Harvey School District is one of the 200 odd school districts in the state of Illinois that is over 100% in financial adequacy. Yet they've got under 20% proficiency. So what they're doing is not working. We need to get back to basics and back to rewarding merit and ideas in Illinois, and not this ridiculous ideology. Do you think that the people in these communities care more about the Green New Scam, or do they care more about their energy bills?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. People need to wake up and see who they're sending to Springfield is not representing them very, very well. They would be shocked by
if they really knew what they knew.
Yeah, how these people how they grovel to big corporations and the people that are writing their checks. Mm-hmm. That's not what these communities deserve.
Yeah, Blaine, before we let you go, one more question for both of you. As more people leave Illinois, we're probably going to lose another congressional seat at some point in time. How is that going to work? Whose job is going to be lost? What do you think they're scheming? Because while we're sleeping, the Democrats are up and planning ways to get us.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to try to draw all of Southern Illinois into one district. Thankfully, we're the entire state of Illinois, except that northeast corner, is pretty red. So it's a little bit harder for them to gerrymander it any worse than they already have. But once they do an actual census in this state and stop counting the millions of illegal immigrants, I think that you're going to see that our population loss is even greater than what they've said before. So we're going to lose a lot, but they would be in peril if they tried to draw a more gerrymandered setup than they do right now.
All right, State Representative Blaine Wilhauer, thanks for taking some time with us today to explain what's going on down in Springfield. We appreciate your work there.
Yep, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys very much.
Thank you. Coming up on The Real Story, Lori Lightfoot has a new job. We'll take your phone calls, and a cow in the quad. We'll explain.
This is the show that the Chicago Press Corps and the Democrats in Springfield don't want you to hear. It's The Real Story on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Conservative Rick Niemeyer has represented us in Northwest Indiana for many years, and he's notched conservative victories win after win. Niemeyer passed the largest tax cut in Indiana history from right here in Northwest Indiana. And he stood up to protect Indiana farmland from Chinese companies, closed every loophole from foreign ownership to protect our way of life and our food supply. And guess who passed constitutional carry for the whole state of Indiana? It was Rick Niemeyer from Lowell, Indiana. Oh, and he banned biological boys and girls sports too, standing up for farmers, families, and values. That's why Rick Niemeyer has been endorsed by the Indiana Farm Bureau, the NRA, Indiana Right to Life, and more. Now Niemeyer is fighting the tough issues of today, standing up to NIPSCO and their rate hikes, and protecting farmers' property rights against the land grabs of pipeline companies. Rick Niemeyer, the conservative you can count on for state senate. Paid for by the committee to elect Rick Niemeyer.
We promised you a first-class country music cruise, and the first sailing of Top Shelf Country Cruise delivered. The bar's set, and nothing less will do. In March 2027, we're setting sail on the luxurious Celebrity Summit, departing from Tampa, stopping in Bimini, Key West, and Cozumel. See performances by headliner Riley Green, Chris Young, Lauren Elena, Randy Houser, and more. Your favorite country stars will be on board. Will you be? Book any available cabin at TopShelfCountryCruise.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
AM 560. The Answer.
312-642-5600. That's our phone line, and you can also text us, getting lots of text messages in. It says Jeannie, the Murrays grew up without theater classes too in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we had choir in middle school. Didn't you have that at least?
Yeah, but you don't need a performing arts center in middle school. You're there 180 days for 3 years. What the hell, people? I can't believe people bought into that garbage.
$151 million referendum.
$151 million.
Easy peasy. Let's go to Greg in Schaumburg. Hello, Greg.
Hi, Amy and Jeannie. Appreciate you staying with this topic. And my question is this. When I heard the Supreme Court case yesterday, I was really surprised to hear the Supreme Court of the United States dealing with a state issue, given the federalism ramifications of it. And when I heard that the guiding principles seemed to focus on race, and the public has been kind of absorbing that, the question that I have is, what is the guiding principle as it gets implemented on a state level in terms of the redesign of these territories? And if you disagree, does it become, a continual rejection process in a state, or does it go back to the Supreme Court? In other words, what's the guiding principle? Because race has been listed as one, and I think contiguousness is another issue. But how does it ultimately get decided? There's got to be somebody that decides that.
Well, it's going to go through a court challenge. So if we were to challenge Illinois' 3rd district, which even mainstream legacy media has said was designed for Hispanic, and they admit it, that you have to have somebody challenge that part of the map. In the same way that the Louisiana folks challenged their creation of a 2nd black district. And I am filling in for Dan tomorrow. We're going to have Scott McKay on, and he's going to talk about that in depth, because there's another twist to the entire story on this redistricting thing.
Nice tease.
Yes.
Right,
but
thanks, Greg.
You'll have to listen for that. But I mean, what Louisiana did had to be challenged up to the Supreme Court. So if somebody in Illinois is going to challenge Illinois' 3rd district, which I think is ripe for a challenge, then the court case is going to have to be put up, and then I'm sure it's going to have to rise to the level of the Supreme Court.
Mike in Western Suburbs, you're on The Real Story. Hi, Mike.
Hi. I was wondering if you could start asking the state legislators, why don't they support publishing crime data by legislative district using the ad hoc reports that are available from the Illinois State Police? You need to add an incident locality of county, township, and incorporated city, county, township, unincorporated, and geocode it to the legislative districts.
It's a great idea, Mike, and I did get your information. I believe you're the one who sent me a bunch of stuff on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Real quickly, there was a cow on campus at University of Illinois yesterday. Did you see it?
I did see the story.
That cow was good looking, and that cow knew it, trotting along. And I wanted it to be free, but apparently it got loose from the College of Veterinary Medicine's large animal clinic, and they were able to get it back into custody. They corralled it in, and I wanted the cow to run free.
I see cow, I see steak.
Holy cow. All right, thank you so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. And Jeannie will be in for Dan tomorrow. I'm taking the day off, and we'll explain why later, because it's pretty funny. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and God bless America.